Hey, good morning, everybody. I just want to give everybody a quick update on what's been going on in the garage. Honestly, I haven't spent much time out here. It got really cold in Pennsylvania. We were down in the single digits for over a week. We had a lot of snow, so I had to go plow roads. So I didn't get a whole lot done. I did get a few things done, and we'll talk about them now. So the BSA Starfire, my little 250, she is what I would call done. Last we talked, I think I had pulled the oil tank off. There was a bunch of gunk in the bottom of it. So I cleaned that all out. The way I clean out oil tanks is I use kerosene, slosh it around, let it sit, slosh it around, let it sit, slosh it around, so on and so forth until I get all the gunk dissolved and out of there. Then I clean it out with hot soapy water, and then I dry it out with an air hose and a heat gun, and then immediately fill it back up with oil. Put all new crush washers, actually they're fiber washers, put all new fiber washers, cleaned out the filter, which is part of like where the oil hose connects. I pulled the sump off, which hopefully you guys can see under here. I pulled that off, cleaned that all out, put a new gasket in there. And in order to get that to seal up, I find one of the best products out there for sealing up engine cases and stuff is this Hylomar Blue. It kind of like never really hardens. It does a great job of sealing up oil gaskets and stuff like that, and is easily removed. After I did that, I pulled the primary off because I had an oil leak there. So I did the same thing, brand new gasket, using a Hylomar on both sides. And actually it turned out it was a good thing I took the primary off because the nut on the rotor was actually loose. And the tabbed washer was broken, so it wasn't holding it. So got a new tabbed washer, fixed that all up, put this back on, filled it with oil, and no more leaks. Fixed my gas leaks. One of the best things I have found, let me grab a couple here really quick. You can see over here in my stash of stuff, I use these bonded seal washers. You can get these from all kinds of different places, but basically you have a rubber, inside with a washer outside. They seal really good. You don't want the nut to contact the rubber because as you're tightening it, it'll tear the rubber. So you back that up with a washer. So the washer tightens against the rubber. And then for added safety, I put white lithium grease on the rubber part. So I put that up in there. I do the same thing on this. And then for extra security, because I hate fuel leaks on hot engines, I use this special yellow like Teflon tape. It holds up really well to gas. Hopefully no gas ever touches it, but it's a good added security. Everybody's got their own opinion of that. This is what I do, and it's what works for me. And we've seen the bike start before. I have had the bike running to check that I had return oil flow. Everything is good. It's still a little too cold to go out for a test ride, which I want to do for you guys. So it might possibly be happening tomorrow, Sunday. We're supposed to get close to 50, so I might be able to take it out for a short ride. The only thing left to do is I need to replace the front tire. Although the front tire holds air, it's pretty well dry rotted and hard. And I have a new front tire and tube for it. But I like to wait till it gets warmer so I can put this tire out in the sun, the new tire, and get it nice and soft. It makes it a lot easier to put on. So basically this bike is done, all but putting the new front tire on it. But this bike is pretty much done. You'll notice I did throw my 1972 Triumph TR6C. So TR6, it's a 650 single carb, C being high pipe. Before I bought it, somebody put a Bonneville head on it, so it's got dual carbs. Aftermarket mufflers. Bike runs and sounds good. It's got a few problems. One being kind of a severe problem. When I was riding it, right after I bought it, I realized it pops out of gear all the time. All the gears, doesn't matter what gear you're in, first, second, third, or fourth, it pops out. So 71 and 72, they did something kind of dumb, to be honest. You can see in here, hopefully you guys can see this. This here is your cam plate, which is what selects gears, okay? In all the previous and post models, so in other words, before 71 and after 72, they have a plunger that comes up through the bottom. It's a spring-loaded plunger, so as it gets in these detents, it pushes down, it comes up. Very secure at holding the cam plate in position. For some reason, in 71, they switched to a leaf spring arrangement, which you can see here. Okay, here's this leaf spring arrangement. So this would sit like, so this cover would be in here like this. This is the inner transmission cover. So you can see how that spring steel is supposed to pop up against the cam plate, hold it in position. Well, it doesn't do a very good job. This one is a little bit worn. So I'm going to go ahead and replace it, and hopefully that will solve my jumping out of gear issue. Since it does it in every gear, I kind of doubt it's something wrong with the transmission. And since this is still a 4-speed transmission, they were pretty reliable and pretty bulletproof. So I don't really think there's anything wrong with the transmission itself. It shifts nice. It just pops out of gear. So we're going to try a new leaf spring. And while I have it out, I don't like the way the shifter works. So I'm also going to replace these detents and the detent springs for the shift lever. So this will all be renewed and put back together. When I get the parts, I'll show you guys how to index the transmission, get that inner cover on so you have all your gears. Then we'll put the outer cover on, and then again, we'll probably be stuck waiting for nicer weather so we can ride it, see if that fixes the problem. But this is a pretty nice bike. It's not totally stock. It's got lower bars. Whoever painted the tank, I mean, that's not original colors, but I like it. It's kind of a nice paint job. So I'm going to keep that the way it is. I like the dual carbs. Some people don't like dual carbs. I do. Some people think they're a pain to synchronize. They're not. You can do it in about 5 minutes, and you don't have to sync them, but rarely. Especially once your throttle cables get broken in, you pretty much never have to touch them again. But some people just don't like the extra 5 minutes, I guess, or they don't know how to do it, one or the other. But it's actually very easy to do on these. So it's not a stock headlight. Some of the wiring has been chopped up and boogered up. I have a whole new wiring harness for it, which I may do at some point in time. You can see here somebody who did it use these stupid vampire clamps, which you should never do on any wiring, let alone motorcycle wiring. And their stupid vampire clamps are throughout the bike. There's a ton of them in that aftermarket headlight. So I have all the parts to put this back to stock electrically, and I may do that at some point. But for now, that's all the updates I've got. Hopefully the weather will get better, and we can take out the Starfire for a test ride. And as soon as I get some parts, which should come next week, I'll show you guys how we'll get this transmission fixed. But until then, just want to give you a quick update. There it is. All new fluids in the BSA. So she's all good and ready to go. That was a fun little project, and I'm excited to get it on the road. All right, until next time, hey, get out in the garage and work on something.